Hello there, and welcome back to War Thunder aboard the German G.91 R3. And this jet in this battle is, aside from the belts, completely stock. This battle is, in my opinion, not really representative, and I still wanted to share it with you because two very important things happened, or two noticeable situations occurred. So, the problem with the G.91 R3 is that it is a 9.0 jet, and very often it gets up-tiered versus 10.0s, meaning that you are in a severe performance deficit, and that on top of you being stock. So you have to fly it relatively passively. You still have to invest in altitude and not just rely on your brute engine performance, like something like the F4 Phantom, the T2, and also the MiG-21 and MiG-19 can, where they just keep their energy much better than you do when you're stock in particular. Now, the one thing that I thought would happen is that this plane would give me the same experience as the Italian Premium, the R4, but it's not quite the same because I think this plane is not a cold pizza. And that means that I have a little bit of a better experience in this plane. I think it gets significantly better when it's fully upgraded, but that has to be seen, and I cannot tell you about this yet. However, what is the reason that I fly this plane in the first place? Well, I just looked through my comments in the RE 2005 Serie 0 video, and quite a lot of you upvoted the wish of one of my viewers to fly this plane. So I thought, well, why not? And so here I am. I think that the plus point of this plane, in contrast to the R4, is that it has 30mm. It has two 30mm with 250 rounds between them. And as you can see, I'm also taking here minimum fuel, which is 10 minutes. And so with this, I try to stay in the cloud cover and try to just vulture here the kills and get here into fights where the enemies are preoccupied, where they are turning and burning their speed and energy, etc. And I'm not the first in the gun sight of an enemy top tier jet. So here I try to dive versus this group of enemy jets. But I'm not quite there, I'm not just quite awake, and you will see this in just a moment. I think to myself, for which enemy should I go for? I noticed the MiG-17 on the left hand side. The G.91 turns around and I think to myself, well, maybe, and then he already sprays, and I'm way too late, and he sparks a few shells, he does no damage, but I equally could have been dead, just right there. That was extremely poorly played, I apologize. But now I'm awake. Now I'm like, yeah, I needed that. I needed that a little rush of adrenaline right there. The G.91 then deals another G.91, and I am with my G.91 on the tail on a G.91, killing a G.91 that was on the tail on the G.91. Mixed battles are awesome while I avoid another G.91. See what I did there? I didn't see it. Okay. Enough about this trash talk. Let's get serious. So here I still try to get back energy again. While the plane is not extremely poorly, you feel that the enemies just have an easier time keeping up the speed and the maneuverability, because it's very easy for you to energy trap yourself if you're stuck. And this CL-13, well, he was just quite tunnel visioning, and I absolutely had here an issue with both my aim, but also the rudder and also the lead. I don't know those guns yet. I get a critical hit, and now the plane still wobbles all over the place, but also the spray of the guns didn't help, and I blasted through my entire load of ammunition, avoiding a MiG-17 here, trying to reverse him, and maybe would have shot a few rounds into his direction, but then I also have to dodge this other G.91 R3. And what I mean with energy trapping yourself is this. Very often, especially when this scene happens very early game, when you have to dodge somebody, this spells your doom, because then you are like a sitting duck for an enemy jet that comes with Mach 1+. But here I avoided also by sheer luck the F-86F. I didn't see him again. The cloud cover is really low. So now I obviously have to go back to the base, rearm, repair, refuel. Well, I haven't any sort of damage, but I definitely need ammo, and it would be good to get back to 10 minutes of fuel again. So the 30 millimeters, I think that they make the biggest difference in my opinion, but I also think that one of the big drawbacks is that when you have your stock plane, you need to rely on killing enemy planes because you cannot really ground pound. Well, with those 30 millimeters, you could crack those pillboxes, and I've already done so, you know, a late game stage, etc. And you get a few extra RP. Again, this plane is stock. This plane is stock. You will see this at the end with the results. And I already have 2 kills. So far, this is the joint best result that I had. This braking parachute is very nice indeed because it saves me time. And that will become very important in just a minute. Because as you can see in the background, there are 3 enemy jets nearby. And well, they are less than 7, less than 6 kilometers away, and that is like nothing for a jet. And this is dangerous. I repair in time, and I don't want to play here this bailout game. But even less, I would want to just gift the enemy the kill. They should bugger off to the middle of the map and then wait for us. That is now my perspective while I am on the runway. Remember, I didn't flee here, I had to get back ammunition. And again, I could have preserved more ammunition, I could have shot better, but again, this plane, well, is stock, and so you try to get the kill that are at hand, and so I was a bit impatient. Also impatient is this F-86. He comes, and this is now very funny. First of all, he tries to go for me. I see it, and when he sprays, I hit the rudder and actually now go into the direction of the second jet, while the first one killed the MiG-19 and crashed. And this guy, I barely take off, and I spray and pray, and Godzilla loves me. How could you screw that one up? And so now the advantages have flipped. And we are now in a 2 versus 1. So 2 on our team, including me, versus 1 enemy. And this 1 enemy actually puts a very interesting fight up. You will see it in just a moment. But yeah, that scene here on the runway, that was the very first time that it happened to me. And it put quite a bit of a smile on my face. Which is rather unusual, because normally chat battles, they are so... I think that very often I get turned away from playing jets because a lot of people specialize in jets and then they are fully upgraded with the best of crews, and if you want to normally play jets, then you have a very, very hard time. We had this in the past with the 8.0s, now it's the 8.0s and the 9.0s, because whatever I play I constantly get up-tiered. Not so often the G.91 R though. And now something very interesting happened, because the last enemy player just ordered the Jack of all trades order, and that is very smart because you know, I still have plenty of ammunition. I'm near the max of the minimal fuel load that I have, and so I want to know where it is. So I obviously, in this situation where I'm about to have a good score, would trigger with no hesitation the blind hunt or the Avenger order, and so this would give away his position. That's just one of those abusive tools in RRB, but you know, it would be also stupid if you don't use it. So then a few minutes later, and I cut here out like 8-9 minutes, we were looking in a cloud for each other. He actually then was spotted by the blind hunt order, and then he told us in chat that he is more or less on fumes. He was in gun range at one point, and there you could see how much he motored away in just a few seconds, a few kilometers, and I would have never catch this MiG-17. But now you can see how fast I catch up. But that is down to the fact that he is now out of fuel. So this kill, this upcoming kill, is nothing special. But please look at the sparks, and please look at the spread of the guns. Yeah, that took quite a few shots more than you would love to have at best. Why? Because you know, when you have just this one opportunity in a regular battle to put shells into the enemy, you want those shells to work. So the combination of sparking and tanking of the enemy plane, but also your spread is not quite the nicest thing to have in a stock jet. So that further amplifies your stock performance when also the guns behave more like stock guns. But he was a real gentleman, and I saluted him in chat, and it was a very nice battle. But of course, good manners. This F-86K puts me down with a missile, because extra firework. Why not? So, very nice result, 4 kills and quite a few civil lines, 75,000, 10,500 vehicle research and modification research, which is much more important. And I also was first in team by quite a bit, which was surprising to me. So the stars aligned, but I also tried my very best. And in just a moment, you can see, yep, this plane was indeed completely stock. So this is by no means a review or not even a first impression of the G.91 RE, because I cannot tell you anything about this plane after the first 7 or 8 matches. I mean, it's not a bad plane by any stretch of the imagination, but it has its problems in the meta versus fully upgraded jets. To overcome this takes time. I want to play this plane myself without too many golden eagles, to be honest, because grinding still has a little bit of a charm to itself. And then I might do another video about this plane. But this battle by itself was worth showing in my opinion, and I hope that you enjoyed it. So I think the G91 has in the R3 configuration, or version rather, a bit more potential that could be seen than in this battle. I also should highlight that I'm not the most experienced jet pilot. I'm a little bit against the sheer difference in performance between the battle ratings, but also between stock and fully spaded. And that means I have quite a bit to learn still in jets. Nevertheless, I hope that you enjoyed this video. Please give it a like if you did, subscribe if you want to see more, and we'll see each other on the battlefields, on the waves, and in the skies of War Thunder.